Hi everybody, Marguerite here. Today I'm going to work on a couple of postcards done with currency. This is the theme that is the theme for this swap, for the postcard swap for the last quarter of 2021. And I wanted to kind of demonstrate how I go about, or how I would go about creating something like this. So I have a couple of pieces of interesting ephemera to use. A couple of years ago, I went to an antique mall in Salt Lake City, and one of the vendors had a box like this, just full of currency. And I don't know if they're exactly vintage. This one, for example, is from 1966, so it is older. But he had a box, and I went through and just picked out a bunch that I liked, not really having in mind a project that I was going to use, use them for, but just wanted to have some. And he also had little pieces, remnants of currency. So that was kind of interesting too. So I picked up a couple of these little ones as well. So this is what I want to use. Now for the exchange, you can use real currency, or you could use a copy version of something. And I provide a free piece of currency from Czechoslovakia. That information is in the description box if you want to have a piece of currency that is just a copy to play with, to create. But this one, what I'm going to show you now, I'm using a real piece here. So the first thing that I look at when I want to create a collage and I'm going to be using a piece of currency is I look at the colors and the design elements in the piece. So I can see blues and red, though that's the primary colors. Maybe an orange also, in addition to that kind of indigo blue. And then I also look at the interesting areas. So this is very interesting. These pieces are interesting. On the back, this is interesting to me, and this is interesting, as well as this. So I choose basically what I would like to use. You can also use an entire bill. Here's my postcard. This is just a piece of heavy cardstock. You could also use something like a cutout from a food packaging. This is a cereal box. This is a nice weight to it, so that will work. But this is what I'm going to use, and it's possible to use the whole piece if you would like onto a collage, but I'm going to use just portions of it. So what I do is, you can take a pair of scissors. I have a ruler. I like to tear off pieces, so I'm very interested in this and possibly this because it has the numbers on it, and over here too. But I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to cut it. So you can tear it, just like this, and it'll be kind of, jaggedy. Or I like a ruler. It also gives it a little bit of jaggedness, which I like. Yeah, I do like this corner piece and the portrait, so I'm going to cut that out as well. Okay. As I mentioned, this paper, this piece of currency is from 1966. So I'm not too worried that I'm destroying a piece of currency, because this is a peso from Argentina, and probably, I haven't gone online and checked, but a peso today in Argentina probably looks different than this. So it's likely that this is not even able to, it's not a viable piece of currency that you could pay in a grocery store anymore. So I'm not worried about the fact that I'm going to be destroying it for using in art. Okay, so let's take one piece, and additional things that I have for this. I pulled out this old receipt. Yeah, it looks like a check, or yeah, it's not a check because there's no bank listed, but it just looks like a form or receipt. So I might use one of these, for example. And then additionally, I have some of these cigarette cards. And I was looking through these, and I like the flowers. I like the flowers because it has red and blue in it. So I might use one of those. Additionally, I have my little box of stamps, and I'm looking for things that will have orange, red, or blue. So this might work. One of these might work. That's probably good for now. Okay, so let me set those aside. I also have, let's see, I'm not going to use these. Depending, I have my box here and I can pull more things out. I think I have a lot to work with here, so let me get started. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of this. This doesn't fit entirely on, but that's okay. We'll probably tear off. Well, let me just cut off the edge here. Okay. Now I'm just going to play around with putting down pieces, and I'll keep this one also very close by because it could be that I'm going to actually be using this one rather than this one, but I do want to just use one. I want something vertical because I have some horizontal lines, so I want to break it up and put something vertical. Oops. See, when you use a ruler, you need to hold it down pretty well. There we go. That's better. Okay, so let me just take some vertical pieces here. I will just go like this, and then like this, and then I will leave this one. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I start adding some reds. Now these carnations might be too much. This is vertical. I like that. Let me use that. Okay. I also have this. This should go on at the end. So let me work on filling this piece down here. So I have also this card. This was a plain card. I might do something down here. What else can I put? I have this little notebook that has some rubber stampings in it. The paper itself is kind of a cream color, and the rubber stamping is in blue ink. I visited an artist friend of mine who has some really beautiful rubber stamps, and I brought this notebook with me and just kind of stamped in it. And it's neat because now I can tear out pieces and possibly use them. This is interesting. I wonder if I can use this. It's kind of big. So you see, I'm just looking and thinking. I'm not really worried that nothing is working yet because it's just a matter of shuffling around papers. And it could be that I'm not happy with anything and that I need to wait and try another day before it comes together. And that's perfectly fine with me. I don't mind waiting for for something that I'm going to be happy with. So let me take one of these birds. This one, how am I going to do that? Well, let's try tearing. And if I don't like the way it looks when I tear it, I can take scissors and just fussy cut it. Or go back to my book and take another piece, another bird out. I think this is too much. Let's try something else. So how does this look? I still need something in this corner, but I'm thinking I could do a rubber stamp and then put one or two of these inside that rubber stamping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down part of this. I'm going to glue down the background. I'm happy with what I have for a background. My background is going to be this receipt. It's going to be this paper, textbook paper cut down, and this. So 1, 2, 3 things. Then I will see about the placement and my rubber stamping. So I'll be right back. All right, so I am back. This is what I have. I have the background, and then I replaced these pieces again on the top. And looking at it again, I don't really like it that much. It feels too modular. It feels like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They're kind of all in a line, and I don't know. I'm not liking the flow. So I'm going to start again. I glued down my background pieces and I'm happy with these, but let's start again with playing with the placement. So for sure I'm going to keep this. Before I had said I wanted something vertical, but now I'm thinking that it's not looking right. So I'm going to take this out and try something else. I do want to keep these because I like the red to match with this red here. And I'm not sure about the bird. So these two pieces I will keep, and I will keep on playing on the other side over here. So my options are to put something this way. Instead of having a piece of vertical that way, how about having something horizontal instead? So that is an option, though this is there's some more colors being introduced that I'm not crazy about that idea. We've got a brown, pink, this light green, so I'm kind of thinking no on that. I could do something like this, but it's very plain. It does go, and it would definitely work, especially because I've got a postage thing here and some stamps here. But well, okay, we'll keep that as a possibility. Another example, here's another postal theme, but this is introducing new colors, so I don't want to do that. No, I've got postage here and postage here, so maybe I don't want to do that either. I could go back to having like a butterfly, but then I would have to find the right color. So, what is the best? The best, looks like the best is going to be this. Now on this side, I had mentioned rubber stamping, so I can do a rubber stamping in the corner. Another option would be to take my card and put it in here. It would be rather busy. It's a rather busy design, and it's a very heavy amount of blue, and so it's kind of the imbalance will be too much. Looking at these two sides, so I think I'm still going to go with the rubber stamping. Just trying to see if there's any other things that I want to add in here. That's kind of nice. How's that? Here it says number. I could do a rubber stamping of numbers across the top. That would work as well. And so maybe I won't do any rubber stamping. But I did want some rubber stamping. This is what I wanted to put in. I could put it underneath all of these, just onto the background. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Another option would be to use this smaller one, but I think I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so I think that is decided. So this is going to go something like here across. So let's move all these. Now, what color do I use? So I've got black and I've got blue, and the theme is blue. Or should I do red? Oh, red would be good. Red is good because I do want to highlight some of those numbers. So let's do that. It's very faint, which is exactly what I want. I didn't want it to be too loud or overpowering. Right, so let's go back to putting these on. I still want to put those numbers across the top, but I think that's going to be it. Okay, I'll glue it down and be right back. Okay, now I've glued everything down. And actually, I'm using the word glue, but I'm not gluing anything. I'm using double-sided tape. This is Skor tape, S-K-O-R. I buy it online off of Amazon, and it's non-acidic tape, double-sided tape, and I've used it for everything you see here. It's nice and flat, and I love it. It works very well. Now, the last thing I want to do on here is to add some numbers, and I have two kinds of numbers. I have these numbers, and I also have this, Stampin' Up, which is a bunch of numbers. There we go. And that's it. Now I can look at this over the next couple of days. I'll just leave it sitting on my desk and I will see if there's anything else I wanted to add. I did go ahead and add a little bit more rubber stamping, the same rubber stamp I used here, just here on the bottom, just to give it a little interest, added interest. I could possibly put something on the bottom down here, but I think I'm good with this. I had mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was going to make a second one, but since I've gone so long with this one, I think I'm going to stop here, and hopefully I will get around to working on something else with these, because these are really cool. One more thing, I have this bird and I went ahead and cut it with my scissors very closely. I can put it here like this. There's a lot of blue in here now. And another option I have is I went and I looked for another bird and I found this one. So even though it's yellow and it's introducing another color, if you look really closely, there's yellow here, and the style of the way this bird is drawn and inked is very similar to this. So it realistically makes sense style-wise to put this bird in. So I will do that with glue stick. All right, that's it. So I hope that you'll participate in the postcard swap, and thanks for watching.